Superpowers are one of the most important things in the comics universe, and are one of the things that make the universes so much fun. With that being said, some characters have started to hoard too many powers, and have become overpowered. So let me define that term real fast, because it can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. Most of these characters start out normal, or as normal as superheroes can be. They have incredible powers, but there were limits. As the years went by, these characters became more popular and thus became more powerful. Now these heroes can win almost any fight that they have just by stepping into the arena, and it's really their own limitations and mindsets that are holding them back. Also, this list will just contain the base levels of these characters. So you won't see Rune King Thor or Chaos War Hercules or anything like that on this list. And just let me make this very clear. I'm not calling for these heroes to be depowered, because I love each and every one of them just the way they are. Just pointing out that some of these heroes are much more powerful than the rest of their teammates. Here are the top 10 ridiculously overpowered Marvel heroes. Number 10 is Iceman. Bobby Drake was the youngest member of the original X-Men and could originally lower the temperature of his body and encase himself into an icy armor. He has since become an Omega level mutant, although it took Emma Frost to help him realize this. He now has the ability to turn his entire body into organic ice. He can also freeze the air around him, allowing him to create slides and projectiles in an instant, and even create ice as large as the highest mountain if he wanted to. Bobby can even regrow his limbs when in ice form, and greatly increase his size and mass, which grants him equivalent strength as well. He's able to reform his entire body by turning into sentient water vapor and then turning back into ice. So basically, he can't be hurt or really killed in the ice form. Bobby can also create multiple copies of himself, though they aren't self-aware, but he can control them. He was able to do this in a fight against the Red Hulk. Finally, he can freeze someone's blood, cutting off their circulation, draw all the water out of their body, or simply freeze someone completely solid. For a character that started out just as being able to surround himself in an ice, Bobby Drake has become extremely overpowered. Number 9 is Doctor Strange. In Doctor Strange's early years, otherwise known as Classic Doctor Strange, he became one of the most powerful beings in the entire universe just by practicing and perfecting magic. He was a master of magic and was able to manipulate people's souls, energy, probability, time, matter, reality, and even dimensions. He can teleport, has telekinesis, regenerate, turn intangible, shapeshift, and had the ability to summon many powerful cosmic beings. During this time, he was basically a universal or even multiversal threat. Some of his more notable attacks were the ability to call upon Sidorak, the same entity that powers Juggernaut, and create red rings that can easily hold and restrict extremely powerful characters. He can steal other people's powers, even completely draining the power of strong reality warpers, and was able to defeat Galactus using the images of Icon, and is an avatar of eternity. This is his most powerful technique, and allows him to bind with the abstract being eternity, the embodiment of all space in the universe. Using this power, he was able to defeat Mistress Death. In the past few years though, Doctor Strange has become extremely depowered, which is why he ranks so far down on this list. Before that though, he wishes to surgeon from New York City, who was able to manipulate and control eternity itself. No big deal. Number 8 is Deadpool. Deadpool is an expert with all different kinds of weapons, a master with the blade, a sharpshooter, and a lethal hand-to-hand combatant. But this doesn't make him overpowered. No, what makes him overpowered is his incredible healing factor. This healing factor was given to him by Weapon X, and is derived from Wolverine's ability, but is actually in an advanced form. You see, Deadpool's healing factor is partially dependent on willpower, so if he is happy or angry, he will heal from injuries much faster. He's regenerated from being ripped apart from a grenade, gunshots, stabs, and just about everything else you could expect, and then some you couldn't expect. He's been decapitated multiple times, but can reattach his head with ease. He's even had his head smashed in by the Hulk before, and it regrew. he's able to regrow his brain, which is an insanely complex thing. Deadpool has also regrown his entire body from just his hand before. He's also immune to telepathy, which means that psychic attacks have no effect on him. Deadpool is also basically immortal, as he looked basically the same as he does now, 800 years in the future. So basically, Deadpool can't be killed by time or disease, and can't be permanently injured or killed by an attack. Number 7 is Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is an incredibly powerful mutant with the ability to manipulate probability and alter reality. So first, let's talk about her ability to manipulate probability, which is originally her only power. She has the ability to create a hex spear, which is a reality disrupting force, and cause disturbances in the molecular level probability field surrounding the target and causing unlikely phenomenon. It doesn't really make sense, but it's comics, so we're just gonna roll with it. Some of these phenomena are the sudden melting of gun barrels, spontaneous combustion, rapid decay, deflection of objects, disruption of force fields, and really anything else you can think of. It's a good and incredibly useful power, but what really puts her over the edge and makes her overpowerful is her ability to alter and warp reality. The most prominent use of this power was in the House of M storyline, where Wanda eliminated the X gene in millions of mutants, leaving them powerless, and then went on to completely rewrite reality to create her father's ideal world. She rewrote reality as we know it. Number 6 is Hulk. Hulk was created to be the strongest man ever, and boy has he lived up to that name. So much so that he is capable of going to war with almost every single hero in the World War Hulk storyline. He's even been able to hold up a 150 billion ton mountain before, has held the tectonic plates of a planet together, destroyed several planets and moons in the dark dimension, destroyed Nightmare's realm with sheer power, and almost destroyed the entire East Coast with a single footstep. But if that wasn't enough, Hulk is also extremely durable. He can't be hurt by Ares' spear. Hawkeye's arrows, even adamantium teeth, can't penetrate his skin. He's also survived nuclear explosions, heat stronger than the sun, and blasts capable of destroying planets. Even if Hulk is injured, which is rare, he heals at an incredibly fast rate, being able to regrow from a skeleton in mere seconds. Number 5 is Thor. Thor is the Asgardian god of thunder, son of Odin, one of the strongest and most powerful characters ever created. Thor is the physically strongest Asgardian and is capable of stalemating Hulk and Hercules, destroying planets with his blows, and even lifting the Midgard serpent, which was so large that it could wrap itself around the earth multiple times. He's also superhumanly durable, can fly at light speed, and has a healing factor that allows him to regrow limbs. He also possesses Mjolnir, which is one of the most powerful weapons in the entire Marvel Universe. It's capable of destroying mountains and harming cosmic entities, and also grants Thor many additional abilities. He has weather control and can summon immense storms and lightning. He has limited ability to resurrect the dead, is able to manipulate matter and transmute elements on a wide scale, can turn intangible and invisible, create force fields, absorb and project energy, and has a little something called the God Blast. This is Thor's most powerful attack, and is powerful enough to destroy beings like the Midgard serpent, and was even able to harm Galactus. Thor is powerful when compared to other Asgardians, but when placed alongside the humans he's sworn to protect, his level of power is something we can't even fathom. Number 4 is Silver Surfer. In order for Norrin Radd to save his planet, he vowed to become a herald for the world-devouring Galactus. As his herald, Galactus gave Norrin Radd the power Cosmic, and this gives him a ton of different powers. Silver Surfer is strong enough to fight Thor, Hulk, and Thanos, and is durable enough to travel through the core of a star and through black holes without any injury. He's able to regenerate parts of himself and can phase through different objects, and doesn't even need air, water, or even rest. In fact, he can go years without tiring. Silver Surfer is able to absorb energy and is constantly being charged by hundreds of stars from different galaxies. He can absorb and tap into cosmic energy, which he can then project with energy beams that are powerful enough to destroy planets. Surfer can manipulate energy, control gravity, manipulate matter and molecules, and can even manipulate time. He's been able to light years away down to the molecular level. He's totally aware of his surroundings and can even speed up the evolution of organic life. Silver Surfer can do almost anything he wants, and this definitely makes him overpowered. Number 3 is Jean Grey. Jean Grey was one of the 5 original X-Men and is Omega level mutant with telekinetic and telepathy abilities. On top of that, she possesses nearly limitless power as a recurrent host of the Phoenix Force. Jean Grey is one of, if not the most powerful telepath in the Marvel Universe. Jean is able to use her telepathy in different ways, like mind communication, mind reading, mind transferal, mind detection, psychic surgery, astral form projection, create psychic links, mind manipulation, mind control, and mind possession. She can launch psionic blast, create psychic shields, generate force fields of telekinetic energy, emit telekinetic blast, and can fly using telekinesis. But if that wasn't enough, she is sometimes empowered by the Phoenix Force, which grants Jean the total control over all matter on the subatomic scale, to the point where she can manipulate the entire universe. She can generate and absorb endless amounts of energy and can exist in any environment without harm. She can also resurrect the dead and absorb the life force of others. As if that wasn't enough to convince you she's overpowered, it's been said that she is the most powerful mutant to ever exist, and she goes beyond mutation into some other category all her own. Number 2 is Sentry. Robert Reynolds is the Sentry, one of the first and mighty superheroes to ever exist. It really defines the term overpowered. In fact, his power level is described as having the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. His strength enabled him to overpower Ares with ease, destroy Asgard, and fought an enraged World War Hulk to a standstill. He's fast enough to bend time and space, and has the ability to hear the heartbeat of a butterfly in Africa while in New York City. Sentry is one of the few superhumans to be considered invincible. Other than his own psyche, no one has been able to find a physical vulnerability, and he has no weaknesses. He's able to phase through objects, turn invisible, is one of the most powerful telepaths on Earth, and once wiped the idea of his existence from the mind of every person on the planet. He can resurrect the dead with just a touch, and has the ability to manipulate matter on a molecular level, even being powerful enough to defeat Molecule Man. Sentry has also been blown apart on multiple occasions, but has the ability to reform himself under his own power. He has an amazing healing factor, even able to regrow his head in a state that he can't be killed, making him immortal. Writers have become frustrated with Sentry because it's difficult to have him in battles, as he can instantly win any fight that he's placed in. And the number 1, the most overpowered hero in the entire Marvel Universe is Franklin Richards. Franklin Richards is the son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm, is an Omega level mutant, and is one of the most powerful beings on Earth. Franklin has vast reality warping and psionic powers, as well as complete control over the fundamental forces of the universe. He's able to use telekinesis to lift multiple tons, and can even knock the Thing across the room. He displays the power to see into the future, and can manipulate and travel through time. He can control the fundamental force of the universe, and is shown to warp the reality on a universal scale. He can warp reality on a cosmic level and has no upper limits. He has shown the ability to create a pocket universe, create life temples, bring back the dead, and create entire planets. Franklin is one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe, and is called an omniversal threat. Just to put this in perspective, he has this power level as a child. When he turns into an adult, he's powerful enough to make Galactus his herald. Let me repeat that, because you might not have had that click. He made Galactus his herald. That's insanely powerful. And some would say, overpowered. So that's my list of the top 10 overpowered heroes in the entire Marvel Universe. What do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. And be sure to hit the subscribe button for videos like this every week. See you next time. These heroes can win almost any fight that they have just by stepping into the arena, and it's really their own limitations and mindsets that are holding them back. Also, this list will just contain the base levels of these characters. So you won't see Rune King Thor or Chaos War Hercules or anything like that on this list. And just let me make this very clear. I'm not calling for these heroes to be depowered, because I love each and every one of them just the way they are. Just pointing out that some of these heroes are much more powerful than the rest of their teammates. Here are the top 10. Superpowers are one of the most important things in the comics universe, and are one of the things that make the universes so much fun. With that being said, some characters have started to hoard too many powers, and have become overpowered. So let me define that term real fast, because it can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. Most of these characters start out normal, or as normal as superheroes can be. They have incredible powers, but there were limits. As the years went by, these characters became more popular and thus became more powerful. Now these ridiculously overpowered Marvel heroes. Number 10 is Iceman. Bobby Drake was the youngest member of the original X-Men and could originally lower the temperature of his body and encase himself into an icy armor. He has since become an Omega level mutant,